morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio, and yes, I am still in Liverpool casting a Star Wars Unlimited event. Seriously, there's a link on my Twitter, check it out. It's an awesome event, we're having a huge amount of fun here. But I also do need to tell you about the legendary birds, the Gen 1 birds, which are all belonging to Team Rocket, and all coming around in glory of Team Rocket. They've been revealed. What am I going to do? Not talk about them? No, ladies and gentlemen, that doesn't sound very much like me. And some of you are going to be a little disappointed because Moltres gets the EX. It feels like it should be Zapdos, but it's not. It's Moltres. So what we've got from Moltres here is a rather lovely attack whereby for free energy you deal 110 and then it takes 50 less damage from attacks next turn. Turns it into a little bit of a tank. You deal 110 damage, it's fine, but you'll only get EXs if they're weak, and even then you won't get every weak EX. And you're not really one-hit KOing anything, outside of like weakness or being a single prize supporting or evolving Pokemon. It's fine, but you take 50 less damage next turn. It gives you a little bit of bulk, a little bit of survivability. It's fine. I will say, the free energy is awkward. Because remember, with these Team Rocket cards, we've got Team Rocket's energy. Now, there is another way to play around with this. We do have Team Rocket Spidops, and Team Rocket Spidops will attach an energy to itself every turn. It gets an energy from the discard pile and attaches it every turn. And then you can play around with stuff like Energy Switch, so getting that third energy on there is possible. But they really seem to be pushing us towards playing a full-on Team Rocket deck. And if they're pushing us to play a full-on Team Rocket deck, we look at this and we go, well, hang on a second. I've got 2 energy very easily. That third energy is going to get a little bit annoying. Yes, we can use Spidops. Is that really the best option around right now? I'm going to go out on a limb and say I'm not sure it is. But then we've got Fire, Colorless, Evil Burn. Discard 1 Team Rocket's energy from this Pokemon. If you do, discard your opponent's active Pokemon and all cards attached to it. Oh yes, this is fun. Now, yes, it does say discard. Well, technically it doesn't say discard. Technically it says trash, because trash is the word the Japanese cards use. We say discard and Japanese cards say trash. But that's what it says. And it's brilliant. But you're not taking a prize card. Remember, prize cards are there for when you take KOs. This is not a KO. This is trashing your opponent's active Pokemon. So it's very important to note that this is not necessarily going to be, hey, I'm taking lots of prizes and winning the game. That is not what this card does. This is, I am getting rid of one of my opponent's Pokemon. My opponent's got a Stage 2 Dragapult, which I just don't want to deal with, but it's got 320 HP and no weakness. That's fine, because I'm just going to discard it. Simple as that. I'm not going to muck about trying to KO it. I am going to discard it. I'm not taking any prizes, but all of a sudden their Stage 2's gone. And maybe they've got another Dragapult just sitting there in reserve, in which case discarding it's not going to do as much. But if they don't have one sitting back there, this is going to be a really nice attack. Essentially, this is for those games where you want to just come in, take away your opponent's only attacking threat, or their only Stage 2, at which point they just have nothing. That is what this card does. In terms of the energy, the fact that it's fire and free colorless does help. It opens up all kinds of energy acceleration. So we could go for, double Spidops and Team Rocket's energy. Obviously, you need Team Rocket's energy, because this attack only discards, and it only discards if you discard a Team Rocket's energy. So if you don't discard a Team Rocket's energy, this attack does literally nothing. So you need to be careful of that. But otherwise, any energy acceleration will work. Spidops will work. Again, I'm not loving the energy acceleration here, but there are options around. But then we've got the other two as well. Team Rocket Zapdos is iconic, but this one, like I say, it didn't even get the EX this time round. Is it any good? Well, for 2 colorless energy, you do 30 damage and move an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon to one of their bench. And this actually fills a lot of roles really nicely. The 30 damage is frankly a bit poor. It's not great, don't get too excited. If you're hitting for weakness, yes, this will be fine. And if you are playing around with some kind of control, trying to get rid of your opponent's energy, trying to make their life more difficult, then the moving the energy is actually going to be super annoying for them, and that'll be very, very fun. And that's essentially where we are. This isn't a take big prizes kind of Pokemon. This is a whack it in the active, get a bit of chip damage. Ideally, what you really want is your opponent to have played something like a Squawkabilly, for instance. Because Squawkabilly can attack, and I've seen it attack, but it's not exactly a good attacker. Squawkabilly is one that sits there on the bench and then doesn't really do much after it's used its ability. So hopefully you just stash a bunch of energy on there, and it's, they can use Motivate if they really want, but it's not going to help them very much. That's the goal here. You really want to try and stash the energy on a Pokemon that's never going to be able to use it. Okay, that's fine. I could also see this ending up in some control non-rocket decks, because, again, you've got the double energy in Team Rocket's energy, or it's any two colorless energy, and the fact that you're constantly moving an energy, there will be plenty of decks where all you need to do is move 2 or 3 energy to some random bench Pokemon that really doesn't need or want it, and your opponent is not going to be able to attack, and that's how you can win games. So you can use it to buy time, you can use it to just play complete keep away with your opponent's energy, or you can use it for chip damage on lightning weak Pokemon. We've then got Wicked Thunder, 60 damage, but if this Pokemon has any Team Rocket energy attached to it, this attack does 60 more damage. This is low-key a really nice aggro Pokemon, because if you get Team Rocket's energy and 1 more energy, you will be doing very nicely. Now remember, haven't actually explicitly said this yet, and it's very relevant to let me say it now. Team Rocket's energy is only Psychic or Darkness, so it won't pay the fire for Moltres. But again, that's where things like Spidops come in. And it won't pay the lightning energy here. So it has to be 1 lightning and a Team Rocket's energy. That's where we're going here. That's what we need. Well, Electric Generator's still in the format. Now, we then end up with these weird questions of, well, hang on a second, is that actually going to work? Because Electric Generator, you need to be playing as much lightning energy as possible. Here, you really need to be playing 4 Rockets energy to make the most of it, and that all starts sounding a little bit awkward, I grant you. But it's absolutely possible here to get a turn 1, going second, 120 on a single prize basic Pokemon. And even if your opponent gets a return KO, you're only giving up 1 prize. But then again, there's other Pokemon around in Lightning which can do more for free energy. But then they can't use that double energy that we're using here with Team Rocket, so we end up in a little bit of a weird roundabout way of exactly how you want to do things, but I'm just saying this can be an option, turn 1 going second. You'll need to play Electric Generator, you'll need to go a bit aggro, but even outside of that, you can literally just use this in a Team Rocket deck as a good single prize attacker. Just want to sit there doing 120 or 240 if you're hitting for weakness. Either of these work as an aggro Pokemon or as a single prize attacker. Either will work. And then we finish off with Articuno. It's got a very nice ability. Resistant Veil says, prevent all effects of your opponent's Pokemon's attacks done to your basic Team Rocket's Pokemon in play. Yeah, that's brilliant. Like, this is itself a basic Pokemon. So that means you're going to be getting a lot of protection here. Like, you put this down, turn 1, and then your opponent's effects don't work. Like I mentioned Dragapult earlier, dropping damage counters, well, that's an effect of an attack. So that's not going to do anything. Only to your basic Team Rocket's Pokemon, but still. And we're basically looking here at damage counters, removing energy, and special conditions. They're the main categories here. Although, back to what I said with Team Rocket's Moltres, that is also discarding the Pokemon. That is also an effect of an attack. So this would stop something like Moltres as well. It only gives protection to your basic Pokemon, but that does include Moltres. And that does include Team Rocket's Mewtwo, which looks to be the best Team Rocket card in the package. And this looks good. No, it won't protect Crobat. No, it won't protect Persian. but it will protect Mewtwo. And it will protect all your other basics. And I'm just saying, having this blanket protection on a basic Pokemon, incredibly useful. But remember, it's only effective attacks, and obviously no damage is not an effect of an attack. Now, as for the damage dealing attack here, it's actually the same as we see on Zapdos. Water, double colorless. If this Pokemon has any Team Rocket energy attached to it, it does 120 rather than 60. And this, it's very similar to Zapdos here. Get free energy on, hit hopefully for weakness, do decent damage with a single prize Pokemon. That's all wonderful. However, you don't have the turn 1 electric generator play available because we don't have one of those for water. So it still works very nicely as a single prize Pokemon to try and annoy your opponent in the prize race, etc. But it's not got that turn 1 burst power that Zapdos has. Having said that, as I mentioned, the turn 1 burst power might not even work anyway, so I don't know. The main thing is, I've told you about all these legendary birds now, so now it's over to you guys. Do you think Moltres could be a player? Do you think either of these other two could be good? I think if nothing else, we've got to admit that Articuno's ability is nuts, right? I don't know. Tell me in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.